Good morning, student. In our last video, we have discussed about muscular system. Today, we will discuss about respiratory system. General working of the respiratory system. Oxygen is an important component on which our life depends. It is essential to every cells and tissue in the body. It helps to provide energy necessary for life. Oxygen is brought into the body when we inhale and its byproduct is given out when we exhale. Okay? Means oxygens, our life depend on oxygens. When we inhale, the oxygen is brought into the body and its byproduct. When we exhale, its byproduct means carbon dioxide is released out from the body. Respiration is the process in which exchange of gas take place in the body. That is, oxygen is fused with the blood and the carbon dioxide is diffused from the blood. The process of respiration involves lungs, diaphragm, respiratory tract, nose, mouth, larynx, pharynx, and trachea. Respiration is of two types: internal respiration and external respiration. In internal respiration, the respiration take place between lungs and blood. Okay, internal respiration is take place between lungs and blood. This respiration process take place in lungs with the help of alveoli. In alveoli, the carbon dioxide diffused from blood and oxygen is fused. Carbon dioxide is diffused from the blood and oxygen is fused with the blood. Means carbon dioxide is removed from the blood and oxygen is fused with the blood. External respiration is also called breathing. Inhale and exhale are the two process of respiration, that is breathing. Inhale and exhale. In this breathing process, oxygenated to the blood. Okay, this breathing process oxygenated to the blood. It purifies the blood. And removes the carbon dioxide from the blood. External respiration purifies the blood through removing the carbon dioxide from it. External respiration make the internal respiration possible. As oxygen is reached to the blood and carbon dioxide, oxygen is reached to the blood and goes to different parts of the body. This is known as external respiration. Means respiration between lungs and blood, in which the oxygen is fused with the blood and carbon dioxide is removed from the blood. And internal respiration or tissue respiration means the respiration take place between blood and cells. In this process of respiration take place in tissue and cells. Means in respiration, oxygenated blood reaches to the tissue where oxygen gets used up during the energy production. During external respiration, oxygen is reached to the blood, and that blood take place in the that purify blood, purify oxygens. Okay, purify blood contain the oxygens. That oxygen is used for the energy production, and during the energy productions it release carbon dioxide, which is carried away by the blood in the lungs for the purification through external respiration. This is internal respiration. Okay, external respiration and internal respiration. In external respiration, there is a respiration. Okay, external respiration, it's take place between lungs and blood. Oxygen oxygen is Oxygen is fused in the blood and carbon dioxide is diffused from the blood. And internal respiration, the oxygenated blood reach to the tissue or the walking tissue, and where energy is produced. During energy production, carbon dioxide is produced, and that carbon dioxide is fused with the oxygen and fused with and during energy production, the carbon dioxide is produced. That carbon dioxide is carried away by the blood to the lungs for the purification. Mechanisms of breathing. The lungs are the two thin wall elastic sac in the throat. In this, just like a elastic sac means thylium. Okay, it is just like a two thylium. Okay, in the throat, in the thorax means chest. Okay, in the chest, two elastic sacs. This is an airtight cavity enclosed by the ribs from the side and the diaphragm below. Okay, this lungs is enclosed by the ribs. Side say enclosed by the ribs, and from downward diaphragm. Okay, from the downward diaphragm. Okay, it enclosed by the ribs from the side and diaphragm from the below. Any change in the thorax affect the volume of the lungs. See the picture here. Okay, during when we breathe in, during inspiration or during inhale, muscle across the rib contract. It pull the ribs upward and sideward. At the same time, the muscle of the diaphragm contract and the flatten. The size of the lungs increase, and there is increase in the volume, due to which low pressure is developed in the lungs. So air is sucked. Okay, air go inside through the nose and mouth. Just like during inhale, at the time of inhale, the muscle, okay, the ribs go upward. Okay, the ribs go upward. ठीक है, ये upward जाएगी, and the diaphragm, this is diaphragm. If diaphragm come downward, and the volume, the muscle of diaphragm come down. Therefore, size of the lungs, okay, the size of the lungs increase. Therefore, there is a increase in volume. Due to this, there is a low pressure in the lungs. Therefore, we inhale. Okay, in the breathing in, okay, in breathing in, at the time of breathing in, this ribs muscle go upward. ठीक है, ये upward जाएगा, और ये diaphragm is flattened or come downward. ठीक है, come downward. Therefore the size, therefore there is a low pressures in the lungs, and if there is a low pressures, then the air go inside. And during breathe out, during exhalations occurs when the diaphragm and the ribs relax. By this, the space is reduced and there is decrease in the volume. and thus high pressure develop in the lungs. So air is pushed out when the body is at rest. The movement of the diaphragm alone are sufficient to fill up the see it here. Okay, during breathe out the ribs, okay, the ribs muscles come, okay, the ribs muscles come inward, the diaphragm come out upward. Therefore there is a pressure, there is a lot of pressures in the lungs. When the pressure develop in the lungs, the air go outside. Okay, this is the process, this is the mechanisms of breathing. Inhale and exhale. During breathing, during breathing, the muscle, okay, muscle across the rib contract. Okay, if when it contract, it pull the ribs upward, उस ribs को upward pull करेगा and sideward, and the diaphragm should be contract or flatten. Therefore the space, therefore the size of the lung increase. When the size of the lung increase, it increase the volume and there is a low pressure develop in the lungs. अगर lungs में pressure कम होगी, then the air go inside the lungs. And during breathe out, when we relax, okay, when we relax, the ribs, the muscle of the ribs come inward and the diaphragm come upward, and there is lot of pressure in the lungs. Okay, lot of pressures develop, lot of pressure develop in the lungs. Therefore air is come out from the lungs. This is the process, mechanisms of breathing and breathe out. During rest, we breathe approximately 16 times in a minute. Means in a minute we breathe 16 times. When we inhale, we inhale about 500 milliliter to 3000 milliliters of air in each breath. ठीक है, हर एक breath में we take 500 to 3000 milliliters of air. If there is increase of carbon dioxide, अगर carbon dioxide increase होगी in the blood, if the carbon dioxide increase in the blood, then the rate of breathing will also be increased. The carbon dioxide concentration will rise whenever we do a physical activity. Whenever we do the physical activity, more energy is required. When more energy required, okay, when we do a activity, more energy is required. When the energy is produced, if we do the physical workout, during energy release, the carbon dioxide is released. ठीक है, अगर हम लोग फिजिकल एक्टिविटी करेंगे, ठीक है, it will require more energy. When more energy is required, ठीक है, it use more oxygen, and in this process the carbon dioxide is released. More carbon dioxide is released when we do physical activity. And the rate of breathing at the time of physical activity, the rate of breathing increase up to 50 times in a minute. The age factors and the level of fitness decide the efficiency of the respiratory system. Breathing rate. Normal breathing rate is about 15 to 20 breath per minute. ठीक है, हर एक मिनट में we breathe about 15 to 20 breath, but it may increase up to 50 breath per minute. Tidal volume. Tidal volume is the normal amount of air exhale in a single breath. It's the normal air exhale in a single breath, and it is approximately 500 milliliters to 3000 milliliters in a normal adult. And vital capacity capacity is the maximum amount of air exhaled after a deep breath. Circulatory system means circulation of blood throughout the body. Every living being requires movement. It may be external or internal. The internal movement requires transportation. This transportation this transportation of materials between the various parts of the body is termed as circulation, and it is known as circulatory system. Circulatory system means circulation of blood, and the blood carry various nutrients, minerals, etc. And through the blood, it uh, circulate throughout the body and also remove the waste product from the body. Structures and working of the heart. Circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels, arteries, arterioles, capillaries, veins, uh, venules, and fluid blood. The heart acts as a pumping organs and is located slightly on the left side of the chest. Okay, वो थोड़ा सा left side. It is located slightly left side of the chest, and it is approximately fish size. आपके fish size के बराबर होती है. And it beats 72 times per minute at a normal breath. Normal breath में its breath approach 72 times per minute. In an adult, it has 4 chambers, and the upper 2 chambers are known as auricles. There is collections of blood. There is collection of blood, and the lower 2 chambers is known as ventricle. The blood is pumped out. Okay, there in our heart is located slightly on the left side, and it beats 72 times per minute. It has 4 chambers. Upper 2 chambers are known as auricles. It collects the blood, and lower 2 chambers are known as ventricles. It pump out the blood. These complex organs work with the proper coordinations of its valves like tricuspid, bicuspid, aortic, pulmonary valves, etc. The heart has the ability to respond immediately. Okay, it responds immediately when an extra demand is placed on it. Okay, जब भी extra demand होगी, it will respond immediately. During heart physical work, ठीक है, during heart physical activity or during stressful situation, the heart rate increase up to 220 beats per minute. Okay, if we do hard work or during the strain, our heart increase. The heart of a trained athlete can pump up to 40 liters of blood per minute. Okay, if the person is athlete, okay, trained athletes, then his heart will pump 40 liters of blood per minute. This is a diagram of our heart. The impure blood, okay, the impure blood from our body through superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, the impure blood come from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava to the right artery, and from right artery it's go to the right ventricles, and from here through pulmonary arteries it go to the lungs for purification. Okay, through superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, impure blood come to right artery. From right artery it go to right uh, right ventricles, and through pulmonary arteries it goes to lungs for purification, and from lungs the purified bloods come through pulmonary veins. Okay, purify blood. And the lungs, it purify the blood. Okay, carbon dioxide is diffused from the blood and oxygen is fused with the blood. Okay, the oxygen rich blood come out to the heart through pulmonary veins. देखो pulmonary veins, ठीक है, यहाँ से to the right atrium. From right atrium it goes to the right ventricles, left atrium, from left atrium to left ventricles, and from through aorta, ठीक है, through aorta it's go to the blood. Okay, this is the process, circulatory process of the heart. Okay, the impure blood come from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava to right atrium. From there it's go to right ventricles, and through pulmonary arteries is go to lungs for purification. And from lungs, after purifying, the purified blood come to the heart through pulmonary veins to the left atrium. From left atrium it goes to left ventricles, and from left ventricles it's go to aorta, and through aorta it's go to body. Oxygen rich blood through aorta it's go oxygen rich blood goes. Blood is a special kind of fluid which act as a medium of transporting nutrients and gas of the body to another's. Okay, bloods have to transportation of nutrients and various essential element from one part of the body to another's. It acts as a medium. It also acts as a medium for communication by conveying chemical messages through hormones from the endocrine gland. Okay, it also acts as the communication through chemical message to the various organs and tissue. Blood consists of colorless fluid called plasma, red blood cells and white blood cells, leukocytes, thermocytes and platelets are present in the blood, and there is approximately 5 liters of blood in the adults. In adults it is 5 liters of blood approx. Heart rate is the number of contraction or pumping of heart in 1 minute. Okay, it is about 72 times per minute in a normal condition in the adult. Heart rate is the number of time the heart pump in 1 minute. 1 minute में heart कितने बार pump करेगी, and approximately 72 times per minute. Okay, it will pump 72 times per minute, and it is also considered as pulse. Stroke volume is the volume beat, एक बीट में कितना ब्लड पंप आउट करती है, and it is approximately 80 milliliters per beat in a normal adult, whereas trained players have approached 110, ठीक है, 110 milliliters per beat as a stroke volume. ठीक है, heart rate means the number of contraction, number of pumping of heart in 1 minute, and stroke volume is the amount of blood pump out by the heart in 1 beat. एक बीट में कितना blood pump out करती है, and it is approx 110 milliliter per beat. And cardiac amount, it is the amount of blood pump out by the heart in 1 minute. 1 minute में वो कितना blood pump out करती है. And cardiac output, it's called to stroke volume into heart rate, that is approx 5 to 6 liters of basal levels. In untrained peoples it goes up to 20 liters, whereas in trained athletes it goes up to 40 liters of blood. Blood pressures. means BP. Blood pressures. Blood pressure is the force exerted by the blood on the wall of the blood vessel. Means it is a force exerted by the blood on the wall of the arteries while it is moving through them. Okay? When the blood moves through the blood vessel, the force exerted by the blood on the blood vessel is known as blood pressures. There are two types of blood pressures: systolic blood pressures and diastolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure, it is the upper or highest pressure of the blood adjusted on the wall of the blood vessels. ठीक है. Maximum pressure, systolic means maximum pressure exerted by the blood on the wall of the blood vessel. And uh, uh, it is during the contraction of heart, and it is approximately 120 mm per hg in a normal adult. And diastolic means lower pressures, ठीक है, lower pressures of blood while traveling. It is during relaxation of heart, and it is about 80 mm hg in a normal adult. ठीक है. ब्लड प्रेशर क्या है? इट इज द प्रेशर exerted by the blood on the wall of the blood vessel while it moves through them. There are two types of blood vessels: systolic blood vessels and diastolic blood vessels. Systolic blood vessels means during contraction of heart, and diastolic is during relaxation of the heart. During contraction, the maximum pressure, highest pressure of blood exerted on the wall of the blood vessel. Okay, and it is 120 mm per hg. And diastolic means lower pressure. Okay, lower pressure of blood while traveling in it. When the blood travel to blood vessels, the lower pressure is known as diastolic, and it is during the relaxation of heart, and it is about 80 mm per hg in a normal adult. Once again I will explain the mechanisms of muscular contraction, how the muscular contract. Muscle contract or shortening. ठीक है. Contraction of muscle means shortening of muscles. Muscle contract or short when stimulated by the central nervous system. Messages are sent via motor nerves or motor neurons. ठीक है. मोटर न्यूरॉन के थ्रू messages are sent to the muscle. This motor neuron, ठीक है, messages are sent through motor neurons. This motor neurons then split into branches. ठीक है, ये split into many branches, and linked to the branch is linked to every muscle fibers. ठीक है. जो न्यूरॉन मैसेज, ठीक है, मोटर न्यूरॉन, ठीक है, मैसेज आर सेंट थ्रू मोटर न्यूरॉन्स. द मोटर न्यूरॉन्स split into many branches, and branch is linked with the muscle fibers, each and every muscle fiber stimulated by the motor neuron. When the motor neuron is stimulated, it releases the chemical at the motor end plate. ठीक है, motor end plate, या फिर we can say synapse. In synapse, it releases the chemicals over the muscle fibers, and therefore the actin and myosin molecules slide over each others, and thus the shortening of muscle fibers. When the actin and myosin filament molecules slide over each others, it leads to shortening of the muscle fibers. When they does not slide, it leads to strengthening of the muscle fibers. ठीक है. First messages, ठीक है, messages are sent, ठीक है, via motor neurons. मोटर न्यूरॉन्स स्प्लिट इनटू मेनी ब्रांच, वो मेनी ब्रांच में स्प्लिट होती है एंड ईच ब्रांच इज लिंक विद द लिंक टू एवरी मसल फाइबर, हर एक मसल फाइबर के साथ अटैच हो जाती है. एंड व्हेन द मोटर न्यूरॉन, व्हेन द मोटर्स नर्व स्टिमुलेट, ठीक है, व्हेन इट स्टिमुलेट देन इट रिलीज द केमिकल रिलीज करती है. देन द मसल फाइबर्स, ठीक है, इट रिलीज द केमिकल over the muscle fibers which bring actin and myosin molecules slide over each others, therefore it leads to shortening of muscle fiber. And this is the diagram, this is the diagram, this is the diagram of the muscle. Okay, epimysiums, group of muscles, it is, okay, group of muscle, it is covered by epimysiums, okay, and the group of muscle fibers, okay, every muscle every muscle every muscles surround, epimysium surround every muscles, and then the group of muscle fibers is surrounded by perimysiums, and endomysiums surround the individual muscle fibers. And from here the myofibrils, in myofibrils there are two filament, actin and myosin filament. When they contract, actin and myosin over each others. This is the mechanism of muscular contraction. And during respiration, when we breathe in, during breathe in, the ribs, okay, the muscle of the ribs come upward, diaphragm come downwards, therefore there will be the therefore the size of the therefore there is a low pressure over the low pressures develop in the lungs, okay, lungs पे low pressure, therefore we inhale. And during relax, when we relax, the ribs, okay, the muscle of the ribs come inside diaphragm go upward, therefore loss of pressure is developed in the lungs, which cause the air to go out, okay, it leads to breathing out. This is the process of respiration.